Hey guys, this is my face. Let's have a talk about the channel. This video is going to jump around a little bit. The reason for that is that I've tried to structure it so that it gets as much of the important information across at the start, and then it sort of gets to the less important information further on. So, most important thing is, am I back? Yes, working on it. I've got some things coming out. I'm trying to change some plans up so that we can get more content on the channel and we can continue building this sort of knowledge of game design and this library of videos that will hopefully be able to teach techniques. Are there more videos up right now? Yes, there is. So there should be another video up on SMART goals. I will also link that video in the description. So you can either go there or you can go back to the channel. That video is on SMART goals. Not exactly 100% game design focused, and I talk a lot about my YouTube goals as like examples of how SMART goals work, but it is like parallel to game design, and you can implement that strategy in order to make goals that will help you win game jams or might help you build your own little games, or all the way up to more business focused stuff. SMART goals were originally designed as a way to write goals for a small business. Okay, so what's going on with the channel? The channel has been a complete ghost town for the last 8 months, 6 months, 6 to 8 months, something like that. And the reason for that is that I was making videos at a pace that was probably a little bit much for me, one a week, and they were really quite heavily edited. And that might inform you a little bit onto why suddenly everything looks quite different. I've been trying to think of ways that will make it easier for me to put out content that's at a pretty high quality still, but that isn't going to take me like hours and hours and hours and hours to edit. I'm really proud of that stuff and it's not going away, but I'm just trying to adjust and tweak and fiddle with things to make the content more regular and more consistent and more reliable, but still good quality. And then we can keep that high level of edited content on the channel as well, but just a little bit less. And so let me speak to that just a little bit. Last year, we did 20 edited videos. So Game Design Theory or Design Run. They're kind of what I consider the content of the channel. And then there's some other stuff, which is like, there's a couple of little edited videos, there's a couple of channel updates, and there's a bunch of Tomb Raider Let's Play. They're kind of what I would consider auxiliary content. It's not really what I want the channel to be about. Doing them at that pace burnt me out a little bit. It was a little bit too much for me. And so I think if you go back and listen to one of the channel updates, you'll hear me say that I'm trying to think of ways that I can incorporate easier or less edited content into the channel to try and keep a little bit more consistency. And that's what this all is. It's me trying to find a way to create content more regularly, more consistently, and still keep a sort of a bar of quality. And so last year we did the 20 like edited videos. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to scale back to 10 edited videos this year, and I'm going to try and do I'm going to aim for 20. We'll see how it goes, but I'm going to aim for 20 of this kind of talking head video. Now, they'll still be quite heavily edited. They'll still have a very distinct point to them. So if you, like I've mentioned the SMART goals one already, that's a video on goals. It's not a vlog. It's not a waffling sort of talking head video about me just spouting my thoughts of goals. I've written a little script and I've edited it together, and I've got like diagrams on the screen and text and stuff, but there's just a little bit less editing and finding clips from games and things like that in it, which means that it's just a little bit easier to produce, which means I can get them out more regularly. So I'm going to aim for about 20 of those. So 10 of the edited videos, probably once at the end of each month or the start of each month, probably depending on sort of how we go, and then 20-ish of these talking head videos. Now, in about 2 days, there is going to be a dump of stuff on the channel. But essentially, that will be finishing out the Tomb Raider series, and that will be a random sort of half podcast I did a few weeks into when I was playing Red Dead that I did with my brother. So just talking about our thoughts at the start of, as we're sort of playing through Red Dead, he'd almost finished it and I'd only just started, and we were talking a little bit about it. It's very stream of consciousness, but it's going to be up if you want to watch it. These things are more for posterity, because like I said that I'd bring them out, or like I did it with my brother and I said I'd bring it out, and then I didn't. And so I just want to round out that Tomb Raider series, and I want to put the Red Dead thing up because I made it. It's like 90% edited on the computer, ready to go. So I might as well throw it up. So that'll come out in 2 days. I just wanted to mention it so that there isn't any misinterpretation about me just dumping a whole bunch of just random garbage content on the channel. It's just rounding that stuff out so I can dump it into the playlists where it belongs. I'm going to turn the notifications off for all the Tomb Raider stuff, except for maybe one of those videos. So hopefully it won't show up on your homepage and it won't show up on your subscriber page or anything like that. I'm going to try and turn all that off. So I'm just giving you guys a heads up. That's what's going to be happening with that content. One other thing that I will say is that I'm going to try to take advantage of the Facebook page that I have. So if you're getting to this point, it probably means that you might be one of the more engaged viewers that would go over and like the Facebook page. So please do that. Go across, like the Facebook page. That will hopefully keep you more in the loop. And that rounds us out to say, what have I been doing for the last 8 months? And if I'm 100% honest, in regards to the channel, not much. So in the last channel update, I said that I was going to go away and I was going to play Tomb Raider and I was going to play Red Dead. And that kind of got away from me a little bit because I wrote a couple of scripts, or had to like half scripts for Tomb Raider, and I had a couple of good ideas for Red Dead, but after having I finished Red Dead probably maybe end of November, start of December, something like that. And so after having so long off, that few months off, I found it really, really difficult to engage myself back into the motion of sitting down, writing a script, thinking about the clips, trying to organize all that stuff together to be able to sit down and edit it, do the audio recording and then edit all that together and that kind of stuff. It was all just a lot for me, and it was coming up to Christmas and I had to, we had plans for Christmas and we had to talk to the family, organize family get-togethers and stuff like that. And then it sort of just rolled into New Year's, and then it sort of just rolled into Kingdom Hearts came out. And so I played a whole heap of Kingdom Hearts. It's been one of those things where I sort of just left it a little bit too long. And then after leaving it a little bit too long, I found that I didn't want to come back with a video that was going to be like, for example, I didn't want to come back with that Red Dead video. If I had have released the Red Dead video when I did it, I think it would have been fine. But I didn't want to come back after having 6 months off with like a sort of half-baked podcast that's when we've just started playing, when I've just started playing through the game, very stream of consciousness. And I didn't want to come back with like finishing off the Tomb Raider series. I wanted to come back with something good. And that's why I tried to that's why I've sort of done it the way that I have, where it's been a long time, but now you're getting this video and you're getting the Smart Goals video. And I've got another video in the works, which is a proper one for Tomb Raider that's like properly edited. I'm going to have clips. It's probably going to be very little or no talking head. Just depends on how it all comes together. Excuse me. So I didn't want to come back with something like that. I wanted to come back with something good. Now that we're back and we can have this conversation and I can sort of say, look, I was just burnt out, and then I just kind of just let it roll and let it roll and let it roll. And that's on me. This entire time I've felt bad about it. I've always wanted to come back. The subscribers have just been slowly coming in. So there's obviously interest. Some of you guys have left phenomenal comments that have been really, really supportive, really awesome about how you're enjoying the content, about how a few of you have watched a bunch of videos at a time, really liking the stuff that's coming out. I had one guy who really likes the Tomb Raider series, and I will reply to his comment directly so that I can let him know that the rest of it's up, just stuff like that. And so this has all been motivation to come back, but I didn't want to come back in a state where I was going to put a video out and get burnt out again and blah, 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 blah. And that is the whole reason that we're doing this. I didn't want to just do like a webcam video at my computer, which I think a lot of people do. They sort of think about it as this idea of like, I want to start a YouTube channel, and they just sort of rush into it. I bought some lights. I've sort of set up this kind of like little, fairly simple, but I don't want to say professional. It's not professional, but it's sort of like, it has that bar of credible quality to it that isn't just me doing webcam videos, talking to you guys through a webcam. So that's sort of where I've been. I've played a ton of games since I was away, and I would like to do a few videos on a few of them. It's always a battle between videos about games that I'm playing at the moment versus new games, because of that kind of content cycle. I've got a list of the games that I played. So obviously we played Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which I'm sure you're all aware, or a bunch of you have probably seen on the channel. Red Dead 2, obviously I've already mentioned that. I also played through Mafia 3, so that was a PlayStation Plus exclusive, and that came out. I've got some ideas for a couple of videos for that one that will probably blend between some of the stuff that's in Mafia 3 and Red Dead Redemption and maybe even Tomb Raider. I played a bunch of Black Ops. That was another Black Ops 3. Not Black Ops 4. That was another PlayStation exclusive that they got given me. Kingdom Hearts 3, I did mention that. Played through all of that. I've been a massive Kingdom Hearts fan for like a long time. Haven't played every game. That shit is batshit crazy from start to finish. So that was a wild ride. Finished that though, so might do some videos on that. I played a bit of Sea of Thieves with a mate. I can completely understand why that was a mess on launch. It is pretty damn empty. There is a very, very tight, very succinct game loop where you do, I don't want to say more or less the same thing, but there's like a series of tasks that you basically just do in a circle. Can't speak too much to it because I didn't really super dig into any of the events or any of the really like extended content outside of the main game loop. But once you've sort of done a little bit of the main game loop, I'm not 100% sure what else you're kind of supposed to do. That was a weird one. Like, it's fun for a few hours, but really one of those games where I think that they leaned a little bit too much on the side of it's fun with friends. I played a bunch of Fallout 76 as well with a friend. I don't know whether I'll do any videos on that. A lot of it's been said, and while I am having a ton of fun playing it, it is one of those things where the criticism that was afforded towards Fallout 76 when it was released was very well-deserved criticism. And while I'm sure Bethesda is working towards fixing that, it is a slow process where they've obviously brought out a half-baked game and expected that their brand loyalty and their brand awareness and people's trust that Bethesda can bring out buggy stuff and people will still buy it. I think they lent on that a little bit too much. And now they've got a game that they probably had an idea that would last a long time and just hasn't. I'm having fun with that one. I don't know whether I'll do any videos on it. And then The Flame in the Flood. There's probably a bunch of other little ones that I've played. I know I played through Hotline Miami as well, but that's like old school game from way back and I'd never played it, so I took some time to play that over Christmas, that's a great game, good game. But Flame in the Flood is I got that, I bought it on PlayStation, it was super cheap, like $8. I've only had a couple of sessions. I'm gonna give that a go. It might have some good stuff in it, might have some good survival elements. I know that there's a really good GDC talk about how they kind of set up all the islands and stuff in it, so it's interesting. Yeah, they're most of the games, the notable ones that I've been playing. So I think that's pretty much everything. Like I said, it was a little bit disjointed because I was trying to get all the stuff important out front. Here's the end card, goals video, go across, watch it.